Turkey is a country of amazing landscapes. You can find there unusual alkaline lakes, mysterious wild islands, great volcanic craters, forgotten stone cities, mountains with statues of gods, seasonal islands on dried lakes, or fantastic fairy chimneys. Welcome to Extremely Locust Travels. Turkey, Part 6, Lake Salda and Pamukkale Water Terraces. In the current episode, we'll show unusual lake, a lake of incredibly blue color, a lake of shores made of snow-white magnesium salts, a lake you won't forget for a long time. Next, we'll take you to a place of mass tourism, to the famous Pamukkale Water Terraces. We'll show you ways to get there for free, to enjoy these semi-natural wonders. In the previous episodes, we have shown beautiful wild places we came across while traveling from Central Europe to Armenia. In Turkey, we were particularly interested in places such as Sardala Bay Coast, wild Sancaklı beaches, colorful Candy Cane Mountains, picturesque Lake Van, ancient Hasuni Stone City, or almost dried up Lake Tuz. Now it's time to explore the area around the magnificent Lake Salda. Early morning in a special place. A place that will delight even the pickiest travelers. A place located by a lake and surrounded by beautiful pine forests. There are thousands of lakes on the earth, but some of them are exceptional, different and unique. And usually they hide extraordinary beauty. One of them has an unearthly deep blue color, with extremely pure water and a weirdly white coast. This is something that can't be seen on any ordinary lake. This is the Lake Salda, located in southwestern Turkey. We have never seen such an extraordinary lake before. Let's explore it and let's find out something more about it. Lake Salda is a lake surrounded by rocky lands and small alluvial plains in Burdur province. It's one of a few endorheic lakes found in Turkey. The lake has slightly saline waters because it has no outflow, what facilitates accumulation of salts and minerals in the lake. Lake Salda is a relatively small tectonic crater lake. Its diameter is about 8 kilometers, but its depth is really impressive, about 196 meters, making it one of the deepest lakes in Turkey. The sand on the shores of Lake Salda is snow white and the water turns insanely blue due to the pure white bottom and its great depth. Such amazing colors make the locals call the lake the Turkish Maldives. The reason of such incredible appearance of the lake is the mineral composition of its water. Lake Salda has alkaline water chemistry with a pH of 9.1 and salinity of 1.3 grams per liter. The main minerals dissolved in water are magnesium salts, like magnesium carbonate. With the help of local bacteria, these minerals are deposited in the bottom in the form of stromatolites. In fact, all items left in the lake for a longer time turn white. This proves that the lake still produces magnesite. Lake Salda is located at an altitude of 1,150 meters above sea level. It's surrounded by forested gentle mountain peaks. Beautiful black pine trees cover the mountain slopes and lake shores. If you're lucky, you can meet here endemic plant or animal species unique to this region. The area around the lake is home for such creatures as wild boar, foxes, turtles, or different species of lizards. There are 3 endemic freshwater fish species in the lake. And on the southern coast, you can find 2 species of mullein plant, The most famous place on Lake Salda is the Great Snow White Beach, located on the southeastern shore of the lake. It is formed as a result of the precipitation of insoluble salts of magnesium, calcium, and sodium. The beach, together with the neighboring White Islands, is called the Turkish Maldives. The White Islands have turned into a peninsula in the recent years. For unknown reasons, the water level in the lake is constantly decreasing from year to year. A few years ago, the White Islands were clearly separated from the shore. Now they are a peninsula. Thanks to that, amazing stromatolite formations can be observed above the water surface. Stromatolites are layered sedimentary formations that are created mainly by microorganisms such as cyanobacteria. These microorganisms produce adhesive compounds that cement sand and other rocky materials that build up layer by layer, growing gradually over time. White sands cover quite an area on the southwestern shore. Vegetation development can be observed in places where the water receded relatively long ago. Places which are periodically flooded are not easy for plants to colonize. Clumps of bulrush are the first to grow on the white sand. Then other plants appear, such as different species of grass. Eventually, trees started to grow. There are small mineral springs on the shores of the lake. They release water rich in magnesium compounds. The most colorful area around the lake is the place where a small stream flows into Lake Salda. This place is characterized by various conditions for the development of algae. Small water reservoirs fed by stream are colonized by numerous algae, giving them a beautiful green hue. Undoubtedly, this place is very beautiful, but access to it has been severely restricted in recent years. But if you look around, you'll find some ways to bypass these obstacles. Let's see this area from the bird's eye view. Lake Salda starts to be a popular excursion spot. In a few years, it may become a mass tourism attraction. This will definitely ruin its beauty. Hoping to protect the Lake Salda area, the Lake Salda National Park project was launched. But the fate of this lake seems to be sealed. Every year the crowd will increase, new tourist infrastructure will be built, disfiguring the area. Under the guise of nature protection, the most interesting parts of the lake will be paid or unavailable at all. Sadly, money always wins over nature. All we can do is enjoy this place while it's still somewhat accessible and undamaged by commercialism. It's time for us to drive further west. On our way there is a very famous tourist hotspot, Pamukkale Water Terraces. Usually we don't go to crowded places of mass tourism, but this time we'll make an exception. Admission to the water terraces costs a ridiculous €30, so we'll look for alternative free entry. If you want to see Pamukkale for free, don't use official entrance places. Instead, go to the forest north of Pamukkale. From there is a nice gravel road leading directly to the Pamukkale area. From the road you can admire beautiful panorama. Finally, you'll get to the gate. When we got there, we were lucky. The gate was already open, and there were no signs prohibiting entry. So we got to Pamukkale for free and completely legally. Let's see what Pamukkale has to offer. We reached Pamukkale Terraces late in the afternoon, less than an hour before sunset, so we haven't got much time to explore this area. Let's take a look around to see what views we can find here. Today we will only walk around the main tourist path through the terraces. And since we can get here completely free of charge, we will present a more detailed description of Pamukkale the next morning. Pamukkale water terraces look very picturesque just before sunset. The main mineral forming terraces is snow white calcium carbonate, but in the light of the setting sun it shimmers with yellow-orange colors. Pamukkale is a very beautiful place, but if you want to visit it, you must remember one thing. It is unlikely that you will see postcard-like landscapes. The view you will see will probably look more like this. Pamukkale is visited by a lot of tourists, and even at sunset there are still crowds. We hope that in the early morning it will be more intimate here. Now it's time to head back to the campsite. On the way we pass the ruins of the ancient city of Hierapolis. We'll take a closer look at them tomorrow. The new day has come. Many hot air balloons appeared in the sky, just like in Cappadocia. It's very early, but it's the right time to go back to Pamukkale area. We hope that there will be no tourists on the water terraces around 6:30. Indeed, we are almost alone at the opening hours. So let's enjoy the beautiful sceneries before the crowd gets here. Pamukkale in Turkish means Cotton Castle. It's a natural site in the Nizhny province in southwestern Turkey. Shaped mostly by the hand of nature and existing since ancient times, Pamukkale is one of the most outstanding natural monuments. This area is famous for carbonate minerals left by the flow of thermal spring water. These minerals were deposited in the form of terraces and travertines. The waters of Pamukkale are believed to have healing powers and have been used as thermal baths for centuries. To protect the uniquely shaped pools, most of the travertine area is closed to the tourists. You can watch the terraces only from designated paths, and even on the official paths, you have to take off your shoes. Characteristic white terraces of Pamukkale are formed by the precipitation of calcium carbonate from water. This creates a characteristic white mud, which over time transforms into limestone sedimentary rocks. Several factors influence the possibility of creating beautiful terraces. One of them is volcanic activity under the Earth's surface, saturating groundwater with carbon dioxide. Another factor are limestone rocks, through which underground waters flow. Acidified with carbon dioxide and heated water dissolves limestone rocks and becomes saturated with calcium carbonate. Then it flows onto the surface in the form of mineral springs. The limestone is redeposited if the water evaporates or if the carbon dioxide bubbles out. At Pamukkale, the water cascading down the hillside has deposited travertine in spectacular terraces, glistening white, and with each terrace lip retaining a shallow pool. Until 1980, there were few visitors to Pamukkale, so their impact on the place was minimal. Then mass tourism set about wrecking it. Hotels were built above and below the valley, while visitors hacked off bits of limestone and crunched the rock terraces beneath their boots. Tighter protection came in 1988 when Pamukkale was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Most of the terraces were then placed off limits, with only a few of them left accessible. And the plateau hotels were removed, leaving accommodation in the valley village. In order to rebuild and increase the surface area of the water terraces, it was decided to interfere with the natural processes that have built this extraordinary place. Canals were created and barriers were built to redirect water to specific areas. Although the limestone formations in Pamukkale are still very impressive, these are currently structures that are not created entirely naturally. As everywhere, the strong development of tourism and the highly commercial use of this area led to the degradation of this place that had been created over the centuries. Time passes quickly. We need to get back to our car. Along the way, we can admire the ruins of an ancient city that once existed here. In ancient times, people began to settle on the plateau above the water terraces. The initial settlement dates back to the 7th century before Christ. But the famous city of Hierapolis was founded in the 2nd century before Christ. We go back to our car the same way we came in the morning, the free of charge way through a beautiful pine forest. Finally, there's our car. time to hit the road to reach our next goal. The Ulu Bay Canyon, located about 100 kilometers north of Pamukkale. On the way, we can admire typical Turkish landscapes. Finally, in the afternoon, we reach the canyon. But this material will be shown in another video. In the next episode, we'll explore the Ulu Bay Canyon from the below and from the above. We'll find an unusual place for the night, and we'll explore the Tascheron Canyon, characterized by fascinating shapes of its walls. Next, we'll visit Kula Divlek Volcanic Park, and we'll enjoy beautiful volcanic peaks. Later, we'll get to a mysterious modern island, where we'll find strange buildings, dangerous caves, and deadly deep wells.